Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Life Matters. I'm Hawa Solomon. Stay with me for the next hour as we unpack the Muslim Association, Students Association at the University of Johannesburg. I think it's Doornfontein's section, but let's just stick to UJ. We had them in earlier with the IMA, Islamic Medical Association Convention, and we chatted up quite a bit. Finding out their interests. But the youth, as we know, are the future of tomorrow, and they are the students at the University of Johannesburg who's planning a fate. But firstly, we'll unpack who the MSA of UJ is, and we have two guests in studio with us, Madiha and Muhammad Rais. Shukran so much, guys, for joining us. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Okay, so Muhammad Rais, you've been here before, and so glad that you took up the courage to come back again. Because it's often like, this is so nerve-wracking, I'm not doing it again. So now once you do it, you get a feel and taste of it. And Madiha, you yet to discover that. But shukran so much for being with us. Muhammad Rais, you the vice chairperson. And Madiha, you heading the social media portfolio. So let's quickly understand who the MSA, Muslim Students Association of Johannesburg, University of Johannesburg. Did I say that? Doornfontein?
Perfect.
Okay, awesome. Who exactly are you guys? What do you do? What are your main aims and objectives?
Okay, so the Muslim Student Association is a non-profit organization. So whatever we do is solely charitable. It's an organization that's based in every single university, not just in the country, but around the entire world. So it's an association that's solely aimed on making, students' lives better. So creating a sense of unity amongst Muslim students, giving them a place that they can, feel like home, essentially, with having people with the same religion, the same views, all of that. And also the Muslim Student Association also does a lot of charity work. So throughout the year, there's a lot of charitable events that take place, which we, just to name a few, we do a Qurbani drive where we raise money and we collect meat and spices and vegetables and we cook and we distribute to underprivileged areas.
Awesome.
And we even during Ramadan, so every weekend it's halim or curry or something. So there's a lot of work that we do, a lot of good work, alhamdulillah, that we do. And also our Jamaat at the campus, which we are responsible for the maintenance and making sure that things go well. It's clean, it's a clean salah facility. So there's a lot of responsibilities that we do have as the Muslim Student Association.
As if studying is not enough, being a student is not enough, being an adolescent is not enough. You've got to unpack and still add that to
quickly.
real quickly. And I think it gives you guys a sense of responsibility
100%.
for your future responsibilities, if I may say. And I want to unpack that as well. Madiha, from your side, why is it important to be part of the MSA?
I think as a student, I personally love it because I feel like it's just family on campus. Like you need that sense of home because you're there all the time. It's literally a home away from home. So for me, I love MSA because it's like my family. But apart from that, it's so rewarding. It's so rewarding to help others and to be the reason and driving force of getting youth involved in helping others. For me, I love it. I feel like it's the most rewarding thing ever.
Let's understand the MSA, Muslim Students Association. It's something as a body, as you said, an organization that's actually established around universities around the world.
True.
Why would you say it is so important to have a foundation? I would say it's a foundation for Muslim students to come to, besides the family orientated, besides having that responsibility, that love, mahabba, because at the end of the day we're Muslims first.
True.
And we know we have to portray ourselves as something like that, because I'm quite inquisitive about the idea of studying on a secular level, and I know sometimes that there are Islamic studies available at the university, but you don't always steer to that. But yet you have this ethos of Islam and who you are to start within the organization.
Gee. So I'm going to speak for myself on my experiences. So I just started studying last year. So when I just got to campus, you go into this world where it's just fun. It's like school, but like there's just so much of freedom. And because of that, you kind of shy away from your responsibilities, if I may say. So as a Muslim, there's times where you would struggle to, just stay in line, if I may say. So when I joined the Muslim Students Association, because of the amount of work, there's
And
the
isn't
amount
it
of
easy to go astray when you're at university?
definitely,
Hey?
definitely, it
Okay.
really
Like
is.
you said, the freedom.
Yes,
that
the
you have.
freedom. It's so easy to do so much of wrong.
Yeah.
It's so easily accessible. So joining the Muslim Student Association for me was a way of just keeping me grounded, if I may say.
Okay.
There was so much Islamic programs and Islamic work that it exposed me to, which just kept me grounded and made me want to do more and inspired me to do more work charity-wise and Islamically. And it just kept me grounded in that way.
Awesome. I think, Madiha, I want to pose the same question to you because as Muhammad Rais said, there's so much freedom. There's so much that you can do. Yes, your parents, have given you the leeway.
Gee.
You're stepping out of the door, but they want to still, have this hold on you. But you're actually completely free when you're at university.
Yeah, it is very difficult. It is very difficult for all of us. But I feel like it's nice to have that. I know I'm saying family a lot, but it's nice to have like that people that just can push it, be like, it's Salah time, let's go read Salah. Or
Okay.
like, because it's so hard to just go astray with Salah because there's lectures and there's so much of that. So I think having those influences around you is so nice to have with Salah and just charity, and you just want to do good all the time, be better all the time. And it kind of distracts you, like even if you want to do something, you have so much other responsibilities in the MSA that takes up your time. that you don't
there's
have
no time to
for.
do nonsense.
There's no time for that.
Yeah.
So
So,
just to touch on what she said, it always comes back to how you surround yourself with.
yeah.
Okay.
So when you surround yourself with this
And
group
there's
of
a
people,
hadith about that as well. Yeah.
So when you surround yourself with a bunch of people that are trying to, strengthen their iman and do things better the correct way, like a typical example would be Salah time.
Yes.
When someone
you can lose your day through even a year at work. You can.
when someone, just one person will say, have you read Salah? And you think, you know what, no. And then before you know it, you have a whole jamaat behind you or
Wow.
reading Salah in the JK. So yeah, surrounding yourself with a group of people is really important.
So you encourage each
You
other.
encourage each other,
Gee.
yeah.
Awesome. So that's so great to hear, and I wish we can just unpack and talk about that forever, because not even at home when everybody's doing their own thing, everybody's on their cell phones. Yes, you're encouraging, but you hear so-called this nagging voice,
Gee.
mommy saying, "Go make Salah, go make Salah."
Gee.
But with your friends saying it, it's a bit different. Yeah. So your peers and just being a student, Muhammad Raif, if I could look at you, integrating from new student to high school, there's quite a pressure when you're on high school, from your parents, from your teachers, from if you have tutors and stuff. Talk to us about that transition and how being part of an organization grounds you in a way that when you go to university, actually go and find one.
It definitely is scary,
Yeah.
moving that transition from high school into university. So I guess one of the aims as Muslim Student Association, we want to especially for students coming from far, because they're not familiar with people that side, they're not familiar with the surroundings. So MSA kind of gives you that, that support structure to say, look, there is an association there, an association that has the same beliefs as you, which you can join in. Practically just get comfortable with, and we help. Like there's so many. Auntie Khawa knows that she came from far, so when she came in joining the Muslim Student Association, it gives you a family, as Madia says, really quickly. So because that transition's not easy, it kind of gives you a sense of contentment or ease, knowing that there is these people on university that can help you.
That's good.
Gee.
And what about, and I know I'm getting a bit deep now and personal, what about those that you see that is going a bit astray? You're telling that one, let's go and read Salah. Are you going to nag them? Like, come, you haven't read Salah. Did you read Salah? In that sense. Madiha, maybe if you can comment, is it that peer pressure type of thing? Oh no, they're going to make Salah, so now I have to go and read Salah.
I'm assuming for some people it is. For me personally, I feel like, but you do have that sort of guilt if you're not going to pray, so you'll want to. But I feel like it's a good peer pressure. It's like a pure peer pressure. You don't mind doing it. So yeah, for me, I don't
Okay, so guys, we're going to take a quick break. Matika, I'm going to come with you. I'm going to come back with you, and then you can talk about the responsibilities of being part of the MSA, and we'll talk more about the fate. That's why we're here. And you need to stay with us. Don't go anywhere because we're getting to the crux of the matter as I profile some of the students of the Muslim Students Association out at UJ University of Johannesburg and their annual fate, because that's the main reason why they're here, besides me nitpicking on what university life is all about. We'll talk more with the students just after this. Stay with us. Welcome back, and please don't forget to interact and tell your family and friends. They can also watch us across the lands and over the beautiful seas on www on the World Wide Web, Hilaal.tv, and they can live stream and watch this. We will also be uploading our previous shows on our YouTube channel. Just Google Hilaal TV. Life matters. So we're chatting to some of the students at UJ University of Johannesburg, the Muslim Students Association, who will be hosting their annual fete this coming October, and they'll be telling us all about. But it is interesting getting into student life, and sometimes you wish you were there, back there, but hey, this is reality and this is life. In studio, I have Madiha and Mohammed Rais. So Madiha, I want to unpack with you your responsibility. You spoke about being so busy, being a student, but having a responsibility of this organization and the role that you play does actually take up quite a bit of your time. So talk to us about that.
So with social media, this year I took a little bit of a step back because I'm in fifth year, so it's kind of like my final year.
Okay.
So that's why I'm more like overlooking. But the way it takes your time is designing posters takes time. Like you need to have that creative mind. You need to like sit down and really know what you want to do. So that really takes time. And then obviously there's so much going on. We have so much events, and even if there's one now and one in like a month or 2 months time, it's like overlaps. You need to have your posters out. You need to have social media just updated all the time.
Yeah.
So as you know, social media is like the greatest broad networking thing ever. So it really takes a lot of time to put everything out there to reach everyone. So
and how has this position, because I'm sure it's self-taught, allowed you to harness your studies?
So I'm studying complementary medicine, so it's not really integrating in any way. But I feel like it's.
But you know what? At the end of the day, when you're done studying, you're gonna have to market yourself, and you're gonna know how to market yourself.
Yeah.
So it's an exercise playing field for you.
Yeah, no, definitely, and I feel like it's also I like the social media and MSA social media part, because for me it's like kind of a distraction away from campus studying, like that break.
Yeah.
So for me, I love that part. Like it's that you just need that like escape, and social media is that for me.
Listen, I'm still trying to figure out how to create a poster, a screenshot. I sat with Auntie Julie yesterday. I said, please just screenshot this. And she said, how do you screenshot? So we're still getting there. We're still getting there, and we're trying. We're leaving the social media to the youngsters and the fundis in the industry. The fete. Talk to us about the fete. Why have is it an annual event firstly? Why have an event of this sort? And like I said, you have so much responsibilities as a student as well, so why add to that?
So with joining in the MSA, I guess that hunger for doing good work, it's like a mosquito bite. Like once it catches you, it's just there.
Nobody likes a mosquito bite.
But the thing is, it stays.
Yeah,
so that hunger for doing good work just stays there. So last year we had a few of the events that we were currently doing, which was there for a few years. So a friend of mine, we joined MSA for the first time last year. So we had this idea, look, let's do an event, but like a bigger event. So the idea for the fete came because there were a lot of places that we wanted to work with, which needed aid. So there was a few areas which needed aid with their JK, they needed aid in their madrasa, they needed just kitabs and etc. So we decided to have the fete because a lot of the stuff was costly to run during the year.
Yes.
So we had the fete to raise money for those events and to provide the people that we would like to help with the aid that they needed. So last year, that was our sole aim for the fete last year, but this year, it is a little bit different. So unfortunately, our Palestinian brothers and sisters are really going through a very heartbreaking time in Palestine. And from our side, to do our part, we've decided to help them by having the fete this year not specifically for them, but a portion of our funds, a very large portion of our funds will be going towards aiding them in Palestine. So across the last week, we met with a group of people from Benoni. A few years ago, they had the Palestine Walk, which ran from 2010 towards a few, if I'm not mistaken, but it was, maybe I got the timelines wrong, but they ran it for 12 years. So throughout that time, they got into contact with Gift of the Givers, which they used to, send their funds to Palestine.
Okay.
And through them, there is a women and child care center that was built in Palestine, which was, when everything was demonstrating, was happening, was so the women and child care was provided through that center. So that initially was our aim for this year. But through speaking to Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman, unfortunately, it is so bad that that center itself is being evacuated because they don't know how long it's going to be there for. So our aim, instead of providing care for that specific center, is to just give the money to the Gift of the Givers and have them allocated to different, have them allocated to wherever they need be.
Yeah.
So that is our aim for this year as well. So it's not just our local usual events that we do, it's to aid them as well.
But yet, throughout the year, those are also organizations that you support with regards to, just whether it's raising funds or being part of their fundraisers. Throughout the year, you'll be giving to your local organizations.
Not necessarily local organizations, because we are the
Your
organization.
immediate needs, you are.
We are the organization that does provide work and give work to the people that we work with. So the Gift of the Givers, they have assisted us previously, and we do, shukr, we have a relationship with them. So this would be the first time we're actually really helping them in a big way instead of them helping us.
What other specific projects or initiatives will the fund that are raised? I mean, to look at the plight of the decision of the Women and Child Center, and I know that you're saying yes, so fine, that's probably not a good choice right now, but just looking at your initial thoughts around that, women and children and the importance that they play. Maybe Matika, you could come in here. The role women. Why women and children need support?
Obviously, children being children, they're so naive, and with everything. Do you mean like within Palestine or just in general?
Yeah, general.
Well, with children, they're so naive, and it's so hard to just. It's just a terrible world out there. It's honestly so scary to have your child go out there, and even mothers divorced, widowed. Like, it's the worst things happen to them because they're so susceptible to it. So I feel like having that support for them just really, really makes it easy, because they need that sense of ease and that sense of relief, because it's such a terrifying world out there.
And sort of to touch on the Palestine issue with the women and children, they are the most vulnerable and they get the most affected, although they probably feel like picking up a stone and fighting back. But they need to defend their children firstly and protect them. So talk to us about, your feelings around that.
I mean, as a daughter, if that was my mother, I would be devastated if anything had to happen to her. And I'm not a mom as yet, but if that was my child, I would, it would just like break me. I don't know what I would do in that situation. So I honestly don't know. I can't understand how they're just so strong. Allah Pak definitely works in the most mysterious of ways. But I think I don't have words.
It's like they're made from a different cloth of humanity. Hey,
exactly.
Allah had put them on the earth to show us how strong. Your comments, Muhammad Rais, with regards to what's currently happening.
I was actually going through a whole spiral last night, watching the videos and just alone seeing in the comment sections on certain posts and just getting how people that support Israel, just seeing the things that they say. It was something that was so aggravating for me, and something that was so like it was kind of making me angry, if I may say.
If I know I'm taking a turn here to the event that we will be highlighting, and we know that's why we're here, but every conversation is actually taking a U-turn and directing it to how we're feeling about Palestine. As students, and we know you as students, we are the most, activist about a certain topic, and Palestine being on the top end because we come from we used to be an apartheid state.
100%.
And you guys might not know it, but your parents speak about it, your grandparents speak about it.
Sometimes
so
it
you have
never
that feeling.
stops.
Yeah, that the racist, I don't know what to call it, but the racist ethos that's still sometimes embedded in our elderly individuals, that we as youth now maybe have outgrown it, we don't even understand it. But it comes from a psychological effect that they had when they were, affected by apartheid. So I want to just unpack, and maybe after the break we can just unpack about the Palestinian issue. I mean, talk about it because we want to create this awareness when it comes to students. And how they feel about it, and what are the students saying at university as well.
Perfect.
But Mohammed Rais and Madiha will chat just after the short break. Stay there, don't go anywhere, and the same with you. We'll continue this conversation. Remember, the highlight is about the faith. We want you to go and support the University of Johannesburg Muslim Students Association. They're having their annual fete in aid of Gift of the Givers and supporting those in need in Palestine. Back in a moment. Welcome back. And everyday life matters. And in this instance, we have spoken about Palestine quite a bit. And you know what? You cannot talk enough about Palestine and what is happening. We have seen the media sensationalizing everything. And I think we've kind of made up our mind now who's truly with who when it comes to media, whether it's the Western media, whether it is, Eastern media. And we can understand and take it for ourselves of who to trust, and at the end of the day, who do we turn to? So it's great to see that South Africans are supporting Palestinians in the way that they do. Yes, we have our small amount that we are fighting against here as well, and standing up and showing our support. And in many hadith, it is, written, if you can't say something, you do something. If you can't do something, you say something. But something needs to be done. But in studio, we are talking about the Muslim Students Association and their event that they'll be hosting in aid for the plight of Palestine. I have in studio with me Mohammed Rais and Madiha, alhamdulillah, who's taken the courage to come and chat to us, and it's going very well, Madiha, well done. And Mohammed Rais, if I can come back to you, you said that you guys have taken a 360-degree turn with regards to raising funds and why you are raising the funds that you have. You started out with one reason, women and children, still being and always being, a very good cause to support. But now our conversations have also been changing in studio. Yesterday also, the last few days, we will be also having a pledge line as well in aid of those that need support, because we know that electricity is an issue. We know that water can be an issue there because of the Palestinians already being in a bad situation. The Israelis will just make it worse. So talk to us about just the feeling that is the environment and the atmosphere of the students, and what are they talking about with regards to what's happening in Palestine?
Okay, so I think the 360, or let's say rather the 180, kind of goes further back than just the Women and Child Care Center, because initially our plan was just to raise money for us, just so we can make a difference locally. But alhamdulillah, Allah has opened up our doors so that we can assist our brothers and sisters in Palestine now as well. So I think as Muslims, our intentions with the things that we do is very important. So now that our intention has changed completely, everyone is kind of more eager now, because it's now Palestine's in the picture. Everyone around us is more eager to actually help and do the work, and it's just changed everything so much. And I forgot. I think I was previous.
The feeling, the atmosphere, the environment of the students, whether they're part of the faith or not. Because yes, as an organization, you guys are not coming together and doing the work that you do. But other students, whether they're Muslim or not, what are their voices are like?
So, at the beginning of last year, This year, unfortunately, I wasn't there for Israeli Apartheid Week this week, but it's something that happens every year. So during Israeli Apartheid Week, we have an event on campus.
Oh, so there is actually a week that you
There
highlight
is,
this.
and it's not just on our campus, it's
okay.
on every university.
Okay.
It's specifically designated to creating awareness for Palestine.
Because I heard that at Wits universities, the students are struggling a bit to make the awareness known, and they're actually being stopped for certain rallies that they're having. Is that not the case with you guys?
No, shukr,
Okay,
alhamdulillah, it's not the case with us. So I remember last year when we had this, so we basically just had a little march on our campus where we also got a bed sheet, a plain white bed sheet, and what we did was we drew up a Palestinian flag, and we walked around campus, getting not just Muslims, anyone, and we asked them if we could paint their hands in the colors of the Palestinian flag, so the green, the red, and on the flag they put their handprint, and eventually the entire flag was
I'd
painted.
love to get a picture up to see what that would have
We-
looked like. If
we-
you
I
have
do have
one, I want
picture.
to. Okay,
Gee.
awesome.
So in doing that, when we were walking around campus and speaking to different students, we realized that a lot of the comments that come from people that support Israel isn't always due to arrogance.
Okay.
It's specifically because they don't know
Ignorance.
what's happening. They're really clueless on what's happening. And the few people that we did
And
speak
sort of the
to,
persona of what Islam, you know.
and the few people that we did speak to, after we mentioned to them our views and what actually is going on, a lot of their views changed, and they weren't aggressive in their approach, and they weren't argumentative in their approach anymore. It was more like welcoming in a way, if I may say. So I think as students, our goal should really be, when we're raising awareness, we shouldn't go out there with the aim to, actually be like, oh, this guy, he's just totally against Palestine. We should actually go out there with the intention of educating people instead of just making it a debate and an argument before we actually approach the person.
Madiha, from a female point of view, I mean, we are a little bit more subtler, and the way we put things in with the men. That, like you said, I'm actually glad, Muhammad Jais, that you said they're not as aggressive. You didn't approach it as that, because as students you can be quite boasty about.
It happens. It really happens.
Because you're angry. You're actually, like you said last night, you were angry about this. You just feel your Muslim brothers, you feel for your Muslim brothers and sisters. And Madiha, what sort of conversation would you suggest as a student sitting with a non-Muslim student? And they might not know, like, I've come across, in fact, where they said, oh, I didn't know Muslims are not Indian. Somebody said to me, for instance, there's always this persona people have because of not being educated. So what would you say are the sort of subtle conversations that you can have with even, with family, there's no need, but you have exposure to people that you don't always talk to, that you don't always see, from different races, religion. What would you suggest and say when you do approach them and you want to maybe make them aware of Palestine?
So most of it was like someone like my friends. Most of them have me on Instagram, and I've been posting about it.
Okay.
But you can see, like, some of them just don't want to know, like, even if, like, I met them yesterday at campus, like, they just don't want to, like, touch on that topic, because obviously some people in my class are from Israel, or some people in campus are from Israel, so they just don't want to get
offend anybody else.
They don't want to really offend anyone. So I think that's really the main thing, is that everyone's just trying to avoid it, because, like, some people just know people that are Israeli, or some people just don't know better. So if I had to, like, approach them in a situation, I'd just be like, I don't actually know how I would approach it in a situation, but, like,
it's tough.
It's tough to, like, just bring up and be like, especially because they don't want to know, because they're trying to, like.
So do you also feel like you want to shy away from it?
No, definitely not. Okay. But I don't know how I just bring it up in a conversation with them. But if it had to come up, I'll obviously talk about like the apartheid and how for them it's like, at the moment everyone's saying, oh, Israeli babies are dying and they're getting killed. But what about the billions of Palestinian children over the years that got killed? Like, it's not only about Israel at the moment, it's also about Palestine.
It's been about Palestine for years. And I was reading an interesting article that said, in Palestine, people are dying, but in Israel, people are being killed. So if you just look at that narrative, when you say being killed, it's of course, worse off than people dying. But in Palestine, it's okay, people can die, but in Israel, they're being killed.
I think getting that message across, like, to non-Muslims, it's automatically, because of the Islamic environment in Palestine, people assume that it's a Muslim versus Jewish thing, but it's
Yeah.
not.
Yes, it's not.
That's
It's
not the case.
humanitarian.
Exactly. And it's
yeah.
so hard to get that across to people because someone will, because of propaganda, because of how they influence the world into thinking the way they want them to think. It's to have that argument with someone and to prove something because of the propaganda tends to be difficult.
Yeah.
But inshallah, one day Allah will open
I mean,
everyone's eyes.
Allah will see this. And I think with the just the conversations that everybody's having, we had the Palestinian ambassador also in our studio recently, and just increasing the plight of it. We know it's there. We've always known it's there. We talk about it, but just right now, it's like you said, the feelings that you get because of the videos and because of the hype, it just makes you more intense about wanting to free Palestine. And I don't know why, but this has come to my mind now, the whole idea of us having the difference of the homosexuality thing and the gay thing. As much as they push their agenda, they don't really want to listen to us. We have to respect their opinion. But we also have an opinion, so why not respect us? So just using that as an example, how do you, I mean, as students, you guys can be quite, the activists. How do you actually, and I mean, I'm sure as a Muslim, it also allows us to have the patience with others. How do you actually deal with a situation that's quite heated when you disagree with someone, especially in Palestine? Okay, homosexuality is a whole different topic, but especially with the Palestine issue, how do you allow yourself not to get heated in that conversation?
It's really
I mean,
a lot of sabr needs to be made. But I think when having those conversations, just to give an example, if someone is trying to explain something to you and they come off as aggressive, you also end up being defensive.
You react, yeah.
So I think with our approach when when speaking about this topic is really important. I think we should go there with the mentality, as I mentioned before, to educate people instead of going there with the intention of this is going to be a debate.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be right at the end of it, and you're going to be wrong.
Yes, there sometimes isn't a right and a wrong.
Gee.
It's just about being human, hey? We need to take a quick break, and this conversation is going really well. I love having students and talking to young minds and our future minds, inshallah, in studio with Life Matters, because life really does matter, and the plight of Palestine is in the topic, is on the tip of everybody's conversation. And that's also what the fate will be in aid of with regards to the Muslim Student Association of the University of Johannesburg and their annual fete. But inshallah, we will get more to the nitty-gritties of that just after the short break. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You can catch us on our YouTube channel, Hilaal TV Life Matters, as well as streaming. If you've got family and friends watching us over the lands and across the beautiful seas, they can do so on the World Wide Web, hilaal.tv. In studio, I have Madiha, who is running the social media division, as well as Mohammed Rais, who is vice chairperson for the Muslim Student Association for the University of Johannesburg. And we are discussing Palestine, but also the fate. It will go in aid of what's happening and what's needed in Palestine. But unfortunately, we have to talk about the events and for people to know about it. I wish we could just go on and on about Palestine and the plight and what's happening there. But we're also excited to raise funds. And so for people to support the fundraising, what is happening at the fete and what can they look forward to?
Okay, so this year at the fete, inshallah, we're planning on having at least over 50 stalls.
Wow.
A very wide variety of stalls, especially food. There is so much of food, so much of stuff to drink. So it's, on that aspect, on the stall aspect, there's a lot of variation. This year compared to last year, there's also a lot more kiddies entertainment.
Okay.
So sorry for the parents, but the kids are kind of going to drive them insane this year because of the amount of things they used to do.
Awesome.
So
where is the fete happening?
It's happening in Benoni, at Benoni Muslim School on the 28th of October.
And what time is it? Just for one day?
Opens from 8:30 on the Saturday.
On the Saturday, the 28th? 8:30 till late.
8:30 till late.
Okay, the food stalls, a variety of food stalls, Madiha. Do you know of any that's going to be your favorite that you're looking forward to?
Print up is always my
Oh.
But I think I like the braai, all the braai people. They
Okay.
have
All the
my-
girls.
All the girls.
All the girls. And what are you looking forward to, Muhammad Jais?
So last year was really hot. So the boba, yeah, it really went
That's a
down.
new trend, the boba tea, hey?
Tea,
With the boba
tea.
bubbles and
Bubble
Slushy girl
tea,
boba now.
yeah.
everybody's
yeah,
going to
the slushy
go for
boba
that.
also.
So there will be ice creams, there will be
Tea.
sundaes, there will
Lots
be
of
anything to
desserts.
cool.
Lots of desserts.
Okay. Any other food places that stick out for other people? The pizzas and the chicken braais, grills, seafoods.
I don't think there is anyone doing seafood, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. But inshallah, in the next 2 weeks, maybe
There's
they'll come through.
there's a space. There's a
Tea.
space for that.
Yeah, there is.
Okay. So the kiddies, what are they going to be entertained with?
Jumping castles, face painting, rides. We've got pony rides. We've got
awesome.
paintball. We've got someone that's going to come during the day to give them a guided activity session. So there's also prizes. There's stuff to be won. So the kiddies are kind of going to keep their parents there the whole day.
Can we drop them off and leave? Let's talk about how people can support still. Are the food stalls all taken? Are the stalls all taken up?
No, there is a lot of spaces. We are really open to all vendors to come through, especially now since our aim has shifted to making this even a more charitable event than it already is.
Yeah.
So we are open. There's a lot of inquiries. There are a lot of spaces open. So we really encourage people to really contact
What is the
us.
best way to contact you guys?
So we've got our ad. So you can contact us on our Instagram, the MSA UJTFC account, or we will post our ads are posted on Instagram, and our numbers are there. So WhatsApp us, and we will get back to you.
Awesome.
Gee.
Adika, what other responsibilities that the other members have taken on to see to the smooth running of the events?
So within our MSA, we have like different departments.
Yeah.
So our charity events, obviously, our events team coordinates the whole.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
so
whole
there's
thing.
events team.
Yeah, we have like a few divisions, like a DAWA, a
It's
JK,
very
like
structured.
it's very structured.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the
Organized.
events team basically is the main.
So make
driving
mention
force.
of them.
Sorry.
Make mention. Who are they?
Reis.
Okay. So the events team consisted of charity events and general events.
Okay.
Then we've got our Dawa team, which spreads Dawa on campus, Hadith, sends a message, creates awareness on our MSA account on our WhatsApp, not MSA account, our MSA group on
Okay.
WhatsApp
Group chat,
and
okay.
Instagram. And now and then our Dawa team also goes around campus speaking to different people. So as a Muslim organization, I think our main aim should be to increase Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's ummah by bringing more people to Islam. So our Dawah committee is a very big role of who our MSA is. And then we've also got our Jamaat Kana crew, who is, they're just designated to making sure the JK is always in order.
Sounds like there's a lot of students involved. In
There
this.
is, shukr, alhamdulillah. We started off with 2. And
Okay.
shukr, this year we now have 28 members.
Alhamdulillah.
Gee.
So now I want you to make mention of those members. You were supposed to bring the chairperson, unfortunately, he's writing today.
Gee.
So take us through some of the important members you would like to make mention of.
Let's not say, I wouldn't say now. Everyone who's there now doesn't need any recognition. They still need to work.
Oh, that.
So
That's good. That's good.
I don't know who actually founded, I'm not sure. But I know there was a period where MSA was dormant. So in 2019, if I'm not mistaken, 2019, Sajira Mutara and Salahuddin, they kind of revived MSA again, MSA. Allah reward them for that. So
Ameen.
they revived MSA again in Shukr. Since then, there's been a lot of new events, and MSA on our campus specifically has grown in so many different ways. We now actually even collabing with organizations out of campus and not just other MSAs. So yeah, it's grown a lot over the years, not just the committee, but in ways that we couldn't even begin to mention.
Yes, the main objective for this event would be, of course, in aid of Palestine. But you've mentioned the other immediate needs that you as an organization needs. But I know picking up the phone and phoning, a friend or a relative, they'll help out with something that is needed at the JK or at the school.
Gee.
But if you can make mention of some of the immediate needs in case we might have some donors who would be generously donating that.
So immediate needs are we always need funding.
Okay.
Funding to carry out the various things. And the more funding we have, the more we can carry out. So even if there's needs that we don't get asked for, if we go to the venue, because there's certain venues that we go to that are in more need than others. I mean, there's some very remote locations that we go to where, they don't even have actual, salah facilities. Well, they do have it, but I mean, it's not really the best. So in any way that we could help donors and people who would like to fund us, we can carry out Allah's work through them, and they can help us, with making their lives better and not just.
What do you do when you go out besides doing your dawah work? What is required in these areas? As you said, some of them don't even have proper JKs. So what is it that's needed in those areas?
So in those areas, whenever we do visit them, we always go there with a hot meal.
Okay.
So whenever we're cooking and we're going and we're distributing to them, we're always going there with a hot meal. But a lot of the Jamaat kind of work for them, and a lot of the madrasa stuff that they do, that they need. It's not stuff that they ask us for. It's stuff that we go there and we identify. And we say, look, we'd like to help you guys. So unfortunately, there's times when you come to that point and we just don't have the funding to do so. So our charity work, our charity events like Qurbani Drive, Ramadan Drive, that is stuff we always need funding for.
What do you notice when you go out, Madiha, to these areas? As you're saying, they could be remote areas. They might not have, madrasa clothes or madrasa books or, I don't know, enough water, just clean water to take wudu, for instance. Talk to us about some of the things that, donors can actually donate, whether it's, from a household, for instance.
So we have a winter warmth project that we do every year. That obviously is the hardest thing to do not the hardest thing to do, but the most heartwarming thing because people, in summer it's a bit better, but in winter it's so cold. It's freezing cold. And so we get people that would like to donate blankets or money towards blankets. We do also food hampers for them as well. So in that way, you see people don't have that. They don't have that access to the clothing that we have, the food that we have, and even the way they're living. They need everything basically. We need to help them in every way we can.
Inshallah. I want to talk, and Madiha has also mentioned about the winter drive. What other projects do you run through the year that people can also partake in?
So the winter warmth is actually our one of the events that we need the most funding for, because none of the stuff that we give there is cheap, because we provide people with blankets, we provide them with canned food, we provide them with socks, gloves, all of that stuff which we need a lot of funding for, groceries as well. So after that,
I think the winter is the hardest time, eh?
It really is. And then we also do our Ramadan drive, where every Saturday during the month of Ramadan we're cooking. And we distributing shukr. This year, our minimum was 300 meals every Saturday.
Sure.
So shukr, that was our Ramadan.
You go out to different areas.
Every week has a different location. So we're not trying to just help one place. Wherever we can, we try and go and assist them.
Talk about fun. What fun activities do you have within the student association to keep it going?
Okay, in the beginning of the year, actually, let's start at the end, because that's where it starts. It's when our new members come through. So we have our year-end function. So last year, when we had our year-end function, we played bubble soccer. You go inside this bubble and
oh, wow,
everyone...
I want to do that.
Really cool.
Do they have it here?
Yeah, they do.
Oh,
they
awesome.
Do. It's really close by, actually.
Okay.
So just to get the new members acquainted, get them used to everyone, it's a good icebreaker.
Yes.
So to get everyone used to each other, that's what we do at the year-end. And then when the year starts, before the seriousness and the responsibility start, we have a welcoming event at our Jamaat Khana where we have lunch together, we play a few games together.
So welcome the
get
new
to know
members.
everybody.
So that the new members or the new students feel like they know
they're part
everyone,
of the family.
familiarize themselves.
Just fit in. Madiha, Muhammad Rais, we have to wrap up. Your closing comments with regards to the fate and also people that would like to join the organization.
With the fate, bring your family, bring your friends, come everyone. It's amazing. There's food, there's entertainment, there's kids like entertainment galore. And we also have an auction that we do for Palestine.
Okay.
That's really, really fun. And it's just going to be a really, really like a blast. It's
I'm
gonna be
looking forward. I
amazing.
don't often go to Benoni, but I'm
Yeah,
looking
it's very
forward to it.
far away from everything.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. I swear. I don't
I
love
trust
those
you. I
things.
trust you.
Yeah.
Mohammed Jais?
My side, open your hearts, open your wallets, please. We need the funding. Come through. It's all for a good initiative. Let's do it. Please, Allah, not ourselves. So,
Amen, inshallah. All the
yeah.
best for you guys. I hope to bring my family out and enjoy a
Please
fete.
do.
I haven't been to a fete or bazaar here in Johannesburg yet,
Gee.
but all the best and the strength going
Jazakallah.
forward. Hope it is a great success, inshallah.
Jazakallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Jazakallah.
That was Mohammed Jais, Khan Vice Chairperson, and Madiha from the Muslim Students Association of the University of Johannesburg. Support their annual fete happening over the 28th of October. An exciting weekend, supported as it is in aid of Gift to the Givers, who will be distributing their funds and assistance and humanitarian aid to the Palestinians. This is the focus now, because a lot needs to be done. But for myself, Hawa Solomon, for now, I'll chat to you again in the next show of Life Matters. Wassalamu alaikum and goodbye.